this is Dominic, wedding DJ.
And this is Serena, wedding planner.
And together we are the Wedding Duo. We are here to talk all things weddings.
Planning a wedding can be stressful, but we are here to help.
So before you say, that's it, we're going to Vegas, don't go to Vegas.
Let's have some fun.
Join us as we answer your wedding questions and help navigate planning one of the biggest days of your life with the Wedding Duo. And now we're back once again for our lovely podcast. What episode is this?
This is episode 17.
I feel like we're like pros now, amateurs. We're heading toward the pros.
Okay. You said pros and then you said amateurs, so I didn't know which side of the coin we were going to be.
Farm team. We're gonna get called up any day now to the pros. They're gonna be calling.
Woohoo! Professional podcasters. That's us.
I'm excited for today's episode. This will be good. It's gonna get heated.
It is. So this is the Wedding Duo podcast. And if you guys are just listening, we are on episode 17. So we've got quite a few really great episodes before this. Go back and check them out.
Not as good as this one.
Oh, we're super excited today.
I don't know. The bar's pretty high. We've got some good ones out there, but this one's a good one.
So let's get started. And we're going to talk today about the top 5 love them or hate them list of wedding things, stuff that people do at weddings. And there's 2 very divided sides, right?
There's
you
2
either love them
all of these,
or you hate them.
And we always say it every time. We end every episode, as we will this one, by saying it's a very personal day. Like there's going to be things that you like, and there's going to be things that you hate. And there's going to be things that your cousin did that you thought were ridiculous and you would never do at your wedding, and vice versa. And there's a million different decisions you're going to make, right? Meals, colors, linens, flowers. However, these 5 are just really, people will just pick a camp, and it's just like, it's crazy.
It is. So it comes up a lot on social media. We'll do a post where we'll talk about one of these things in particular, and people will come out of the woodwork. But why would you ever do that? Don't waste your money, or, oh my gosh,
cute.
So that's great.
I'm doing this at my wedding. Yeah, it's so ridiculous. So the first 2 are really probably everybody knows what they are. But let's start with which one?
I don't know. You pick.
Programs. Let's start with programs.
Okay. So the programs.
So the arguments are, go ahead. What's the first one?
Well, I was going to say, first of all, just for those of you who don't know, a program is usually something you put out for the ceremony, or sometimes they'll have them like on a sign-in table, and they'll go over like the timeline for the day. A lot of times they'll have the wedding party listed. Sometimes they have a in memory portion, but basically it's usually like a pamphlet or a piece of paper that talks about the wedding and gives people information about what's going to happen. Okay.
The reason people hate on them is everybody says, waste the money.
Yes.
Nobody takes one. They're not worth the paper they're printed on. All the things that people say.
That's true. They do. They come out and they say they get
people
thrown away.
Hate on the programs like crazy. I'm not saying print more than you need, but I'm actually a fan of the programs because, I saved a couple that were particularly favorite of mine, because there are, to your point, some of them are very simple. It's got the wedding party, the parents, maybe a thank you for coming, right, and an itinerary. But here in Texas, it gets really hot, and people have a dual purpose. They put a little stick on it and it becomes a fan. And oh my goodness, even if you didn't read the thing, people are happy to have that fan.
They are. It's true. And I am also a fan of, oh, wow, where did we go? Of the programs, in the sense that there is downtime for your guests. Okay. And sometimes it's helpful for them to know like what's happening next or what to be expected. Sometimes the meal items will be on there and they'll, give them a timeline. So it's really quite helpful in that sense.
Oh, I just saw one at this last wedding I did, and it was a little trifold, and it stood on the table, and it was a trifold and a purpose. It's a multi-purpose. So it had the table number on there, and it was very pretty font, very clear. But you picked it up and you turned it, and the menu was on there. And people were like, a menu? And I go, it was just telling you what, there weren't options.
Right. It was just letting you know what was to eat.
There was a timeline, and then there was a thank you from the couple. And going out to the couples out there, it is hard if you have 300 guests to thank everybody. So it's kind of a nice little, at least we got it on the program. Hopefully people read it. But to your earlier point about people being bored, this one is like a little card. What is this? A 5x7?
Looks like it. Yep.
Ish. And it starts off by saying, you're about to sit through a wedding. Waiting is boring. Here's something for you to read while you pass the time. And it's got lots of stuff. It's got their pets on there. It's got the wedding party, of course, an itinerary, like we mentioned. It asks for everyone to be unplugged, which is also pretty common. It's got a little game of I Spy while you wait. Things for you to look through. And then there's a thanks. And this one has always been one of my favorites. This one that I'm holding up, for those of you that are listening in the car, you have no idea what I'm holding up, but it looks like an old newspaper. It says Wedding Day News. It's got the date, the location, and then it says, Hannah and Travis are getting married today in big font. And then there's a few pictures, and it's got really cute. The thing that I think is really unique, one of the things, is it's got their first dance on the back with the lyrics. I mean, that's so fantastic. And then it also has what she has that's old, new, borrowed, and blue.
Right.
And sometimes these little details, the couples will go to great lengths to have something, and it just doesn't, nobody really knows it. Because this one even has, Hannah has her late Nana's wedding band on her bouquet. I mean, that's so precious. It's
really sweet to put that out there to everybody, right?
And people are like, oh, I didn't even know that. Because there's a lot of things, people put a lot of detail into stuff. And if it doesn't get highlighted somehow, how do they see it? So the program is a great way to highlight some stuff like that.
On the side of programs are a waste, right? Is the kind of school of thought that nobody's going to read them. They're going to get thrown away, that whole thing, right? And so something that you can do, if you're worried about this piece is, like he said, put it out there and put it on each table. Maybe you don't give one to every person, but you have it somehow highlighted, these specific details, either at the sign-in table, you put it in a frame. If you're worried about actually, handing out paper to everybody, right? You can do something like that.
But the other thing that happens, and I see this all the time too, is they put them on a table on the entrance to the ceremony, and nobody sees them, nobody grabs them, right. Or they're bound somehow, like in either plastic or something, and I see them, and there's, let's say we're 10 minutes from starting, probably 30% of the guests are still there, and not one person has picked one up yet.
Right.
And I do this all the time. If I see them, I'm like, open that thing up, and I grab a stack, and I walk into the ceremony area, and I'm like, did you get a program? And I'm telling you, people will, usually the women, raise their hand like, oh, I didn't get one. And the guy's like, I'll just look at hers or whatever. But if I have them, they go, well, if you have one, I'll take it. And what do? They're sitting there waiting for the ceremony.
And they're looking
at the program. Yeah. Of course they do. And they're like, oh, we're having steak tonight.
Yeah. So, and if you have a planner, like in my position, I will have my assistant posted there to hand them out. Or if you have ushers, that's an amazing job.
Ushers, that's the best thing for them. Yeah.
For them to stand there and hand out the programs just to make sure everybody gets one. So that is our take on the program.
There you go. Love it or hate it. What do you think?
Love them or hate them. Let us know in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, go after it. The next item up for debate is the second biggest, I think.
Yep. And I know if I do a YouTube or TikTok on programs or this one, here we go. Start the debate. It is favors.
You
all saw it coming. Programs and favors. Those are the easy two right out of the gate.
They are. And the reason favors gets on this list is for the same reason that programs do, is people think that you are putting money into something that people will not value. They won't take and they won't appreciate. I'm kind of in the middle when it comes to favors, and I'll tell you why.
Tell me why.
If it's something that is really cute that you just have your heart set on, that you saw on Etsy and you just love, I think it's wonderful to go for it, right? But if you're on a budget and you're trying to find ways to save money, one thing that I think, people don't miss necessarily are the favors, in all honesty.
But if you're crafty, let's sing some Beastie Boys. She's crafty. She gets her. No, that's not appropriate.
Wow.
But if you're crafty and you love doing this stuff, right? Or you have a couple girlfriends that are also, you would love to have like a day of put the favors together, right?
Yeah.
It can be so cute. But the thing is, to her point, not just the budget, but we did a TikTok on this where you don't want your DIY to become DIY. Why did you start
Why did I take on this project?
How long doing one? And you're going to do 150 of these things. So make something simple. But I mean, it doesn't need to be a huge expense. I've seen the cutest little mason jars. Not masonry. Mason jars with a cute little lid and something sweet on it. And then it's filled with M&Ms with your pictures on it or your name or date. I mean, it's because what do you always say about favors that you like the best?
Well, edible, first of all.
Edible.
Because people love
stuff.
edible favors. That's like my number one. Like if you can do a cute bag of colored popcorn or just something snacky, right? And then you can almost kind of forego the late night snack and the favor can become, a sweet treat at the end of the night. So there's ways to incorporate stuff you love. If you two together have a favorite food, that can be fun, candy or something like that. But when it comes to this debate, again, people talk about like putting out the wine openers or the keychain or whatever it is that they just end up in a drawer at home, or you have a ton of extra. And I will say that
it happens.
That happens. That is true that, you don't need to usually worry about getting extra of these, right? Because not everyone will take one. So that's just something to keep in mind.
I did a TikTok on this recently too. You were with me on this wedding. And they had his favorite and her favorite, right? And it was Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and I think Sour Patch something.
The watermelon Sour Patch, which are my favorite.
So, and of course, everybody jumped on to like, oh, those are my favorite too. What a great idea. But it was over 2 million views because it was very simple. You just bought a giant pillow-sized bag of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the small ones, and then you got little plastic ones and filled them up, and they had little stickers made his favorite, her favorite, and every table had them. And
so cute.
It's great. It's personal. It talks about the two of you, right? And it's easy and it's candy. I mean, for those of you out there that don't like chocolate, who are you people, right? Who are you?
Well, the other thing
and the
too,
Sour Patch ones picked you up the slack there. They were like, I like the other ones, but
you also get to keep whatever's left and eat it yourself. If it's your favorite candy and it's left over,
you pick your favorite.
I'm happy that they left it on the table, right? So, I mean, again, there are ways to get creative, to incorporate your personal stuff into these favors. So
do you remember the TikTok I did about the one? It was a little mason jar, and they were filled with little colored mints, and there was pink, and she had a lot of pink in her wedding, but she didn't have enough, so she put the little pink ones on the thing. I did this TikTok. I go, don't hate on the favors. Look how cute this is. A little cute little jar. It wasn't cheap, and I put the mint in my mouth, and then I spit it out like, and I go, I personally hate mint, but it's not my day. Is it? It's your day. So because I got mint.
He does not
I
like
hate mint. You know how hard it is to find toothpaste that's not mint?
We have to buy special cinnamon toothpaste.
We do, because what do you got? Here's your options for toothpaste. You got blue mint, you got spearmint, you got white mint, you got fresh mint, you got all the mints. One cinnamon.
Because you don't want your breath to smell like what else?
Bacon. I'm just saying, it's like I don't like mint, and it gives me a headache. It's really weird. You remember as a kid? This is my flashback. As a kid, everybody gives out what? Candy canes, and you're a kid and someone's offering you candy and you're like, you can't say no. And I'd always eat it. It would give me a headache. And ever since that, I'm scarred. I am scarred. Santa scarred.
I'm sure the listeners are so glad that we talked about this.
These are the things. But wait, one more other one. The other thing, speaking of Christmas, this was a good segue. I did a Christmas wedding a couple years back, and they had a little Christmas ornament that had their name and date and their little monogram. And people were like, and of course, people hated all over it on social media. And I'm like, if I went to my cousin's wedding and they had a cute little ornament, I would put it in the big box of ornaments and hang it on the tree every year. Because I'd be like, oh, that was when I went to Jeff and Sahir's wedding, right? Like, that's a great memory. Like, if you're a plus one of somebody who works with this person, maybe you're not going to put it on your tree.
True.
But it's not for you then. Don't take one home. Give one extra to Nana.
Nana will appreciate it.
Anyway, there you go. Favors. Love them or hate them. What is it?
And so we move on to number 3. And
I want to talk about toothpaste more.
No, I really don't. This comes up a lot. And especially recently, right? It's been a big hot topic, whether or not to do or not to do the bouquet or garter.
The bouquet and the garter.
Right? Or really any activities like in the dancing realm. But we're just going to talk about the bouquet and garter.
This is a bigger piece. Because this is a tradition that goes back, God only knows how long. But people have been doing the bouquet and garter for years, and it's a big thing. And I'd say most weddings that I've done, they still do it.
Yeah, but it's getting less and less popular, and it's actually more so the garter than the bouquet. And the reason for this is the garter traditionally is this kind of sexualized Magic Mike moment for the groom to go under the dress, and a lot of brides, a lot of couples find that a little bit cringe, and they don't want to do that display in front of their family and friends, which I get. I'm actually not a huge personal fan of the garter. The bouquet is fun, and I think it's cute in the sense that You get all your girls out there, especially the single ladies. And, the tradition is the person who catches the bouquet is the next to get married. That's fun. But the garter,
I mean, for those brides out there listening, it's all about you. We say that all the time. The brides get all this attention. When does the groom really get to have a moment where him and the boys get to do something fun or silly? And I love to do you've probably seen check out our other videos, because there's a great football theme we do where we get the guys out there, he takes off the garter, and then we go, he's ready to throw it on 3, ready, 1, 2, and then I cue the music and I put on the Monday Night Football theme. I roll around out of my booth with a Nerf ball, throw it to the groom. He puts the garter on the football and then pretends he's under center. And suddenly the guys are even more enthused.
Right.
Because it's hard to throw the garter. Sometimes it's like doing and it just falls straight down. But so it's kind of fun to personalize it, make it more fun. But at the same time, I totally get the cringe side of it. Grandma's there and he's all up under your dress and you're like, hey, you flew my dress really high there.
Yeah. So a lot of times
my boss is here, for God's sake.
That's the truth. That is the truth. A lot of times we actually are really careful, how we orient the chair. So we make sure that she's facing, if they're doing this, we're very careful.
She's like, my creepy uncle's over there. I don't want to face that way.
Yeah. Well, so something about the bouquet and garter that I think we've talked about before is that you can do one and not the other, or you can do neither or both. So I would say a lot of events I've done recently have not done the garter and done the bouquet. So, it's pretty common. Don't feel like you're tied to doing them both if you want to do one.
Yeah. And some people say I'd love to throw the bouquet, but I'm the last of my friends to get married. Everybody's married. And in that case, I sometimes say, you can bring all the girls out. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you have an aunt that's like, what? I haven't gone out to catch the bouquet in 20 years. I'm going out there just to have a good picture and all the girls are out, all the ladies are out there.
Yeah.
That could be fun too.
Yeah. There are many different variations on these activities that maybe will work better for your demographic or your family or however it works. So the next.
This is a DJ question.
This is so DJ.
This is a DJ realm here.
We're going DJ, deep in the DJ realm.
Because equally as important as what you want to hear at your wedding musically is what you don't want to hear. Mm-hmm. Every DJ probably has a form like, give me the songs you want to hear, and then give me the songs you don't want to hear, the do not playlist. And other than the three big ones, I call them, three heavy hitters, which is Chicken Dance, Macarena, YMCA. Those are the three that usually people don't want to hear, but even those people sometimes love them. But the line dances.
Ooh.
People love their line dances, but other people say, please
don't wobble.
Please, I will punch you in the face if you make me cha-cha slide.
Right. Or whatever it is.
Yeah, they don't want to do them because they think they're cringe also, and they've done them at their cousin's wedding and they hate to do them.
But the truth of the matter is, and we're going to come from a professional standpoint here, they work. They get people out on the dance floor. People know them. They recognize the song.
Yep.
They enjoy them. So we get it. If you're just so turned off by that, then put it on your do not playlist for sure. And of course, your DJ can still get people out there dancing.
Yep.
But if you're worried about everybody getting involved or having everyone out there, line dances are effective.
You've heard me refer to them, right? It's low-hanging fruit for DJs. I would say. There's nights where I know I'm like, all right, I can just see this crowd. They've already set the stage that they are only going to come out for line dances, and I'll play one and they'll all come out and I'll be like, okay, I got them out here. Let me move on to another. And they all leave. I'm like, really? You're only going to come out if the song tells you what to do? Like, can you not just dance? That was always a bug me. Like, when I was younger, because the cha-cha slide, Lord knows that's been around for a long time. Right? And I never danced to it because I know how to dance and I don't want to be told to stomp my left foot or my right foot or whatever. I've never cared.
Don't tell me what to do.
I love me some Cupid Shuffle. Now that's a strong one for me.
But it also tells you what to do.
It does. It really tells you, but I always like to personalize it. I'm that guy.
You are definitely that guy. I can attest to that.
Take a knee at one point.
So that is on the love 'em or hate 'em list. Again, let us know where you're at with this because we would love some feedback. But it comes up a lot. Like, why do you play? They're called like the usual suspects at weddings, right? The wobble, the Cupid shuffle. They come up a lot at weddings. But again, it's kind of a unifier, right? Like it crosses different generations. It crosses different cultures. People know the line dances and they will all come out.
If you can see the number of weddings I've done where I've got it, maybe it's early on, maybe it's still bright outside. The dance floor is a little anemic and I'm like, come on. I'm like, all right, let me throw on the line dance. People will end their conversation. Yep. They will drop their cake, spill their drink, and run to the dance floor to do the cha-cha slide. I go, really? And I'm always a bit offended. Like, I've been playing good music up till now.
Yes.
And you have not come out here to dance. Yet here it is, but it is effective. And people don't usually leave afterwards. I just want to get people out, because once I get them out, I can usually keep them out. And again, there'll be ebbs and flows over the course of the night. But gosh, if you're thinking of not doing it, then just wait till you go out to do your sunset shots, and you'll be out of the room, and tell your DJ, you can play them if somebody asks for them.
Right.
Wait till I'm out of the room. Or you can just excuse yourself and go to the bathroom, because it takes 30 minutes for the bride to go to the bathroom anyway. So that might be a good time. Bathroom break, potty break.
Line dances.
Do the line dance. And one more thing on this one. I come from a long line of chicken dancers. If it's an event in my family, unfortunately, people, and even when I started, this happens all the time. Like, I don't wish that upon anybody, but if it's one of my family events, my wife knows this, the damn chicken dance is coming out. But even when I play it at an event, which is very rare, where somebody would have asked for it, I don't just play this out of the blue.
Please, no.
But they're like, the same people are like, they look at me like, seriously, DJ? 10 seconds later, they're out there like, whoopee, da 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 da, and it's because it's fun. You're with your friends and your family and your cousins.
It's very
and you're
silly.
Like, well, it's not like you're in the club. I mean, you're not going to be like, you're trying to ask this girl to dance, like, hey, you want to come chicken dance with me? I mean, that would never, you would never, that's the last that would be the end of that conversation there. But when you're with your family and your friends and your nieces and nephews, I mean,
why not?
It can be fun. I'm telling you, don't quote me on that. Maybe that should be cut out of this episode.
That might need to be.
Me promoting the chicken dance. But, okay, the last one. This one's going to get heated. Here we go. I'm ready.
Yes, because we have a little bit of a difference of opinion on this one.
As do all of you.
As does everybody. The last topic on the Love 'em or Hate 'em list is assigned seating. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm making a squinty face at my wife now.
Yeah, we're like...
Giving her the stink eye.
You know what I'm talking about? The song?
Do I know what you're talking about?
I know you do. Yeah, of course. So
even that rendition you just gave, I still knew what you were talking about.
It was good.
Okay.
I, as a planner, have got to be an advocate for assigned seating. Reason being, it is hard to go into an event as someone maybe who doesn't know the couple very well, or is a +1, like we've talked about before, and not have a place assigned to sit. It can be very awkward to try to find a seat and not know if it's reserved table, not reserved, So I think it helps kind of structure the whole event, your whole reception. The other piece is, if you don't do assigned seating, it can cost you in tables and decor, because a lot of times you'll have extra space because people don't fill in some of those spots, right? Like if an odd number of people sit at a table and there's one chair left, you see what I'm saying, right? You need to have a little bit of extra room when you don't assign seating.
But that's going to happen anyway. There's always going to be, here we go. Here's the other side. We've tried to do pros and cons on these. And I am not a fan of assigned seating because, one, after cocktail, when we invite everybody into the room, there's this huge bottleneck because nobody has looked where they're sitting yet. And so everybody's like sitting there looking, and grandma puts her glasses on and she's like looking through the thing, and everyone else, no one can go in the room, but you end up waiting a half hour just to get people in the room.
No, you don't.
And I think I'm a believer on just put reserved on one for his family or his immediate family, parents, whatever, one for her side or whatever side, the couple's immediate family, and open the rest up. I mean, obviously wedding party would have some, but it is so hard because what happens.
But tell them the reason.
Yes, I'll tell you why.
There's a reason why he feels this strongly, which is not fair.
Because on my first wedding, I was married before. I did most of the seating chart, and it is really hard. The brides out there that are wrestling with your RSVP and your seating chart, you're like, there's 3 at this one trying to come, and there's 2 here. He's coming by himself, so it's like you're trying to put together this giant puzzle, and it's hard. And then somebody else says, "I'm not coming." Like, like now I got to change this table now is opened up. And it is really hard to do this puzzle and to try to keep the table count down. You can't just I'll just put another table and any overflow can go there. No, it doesn't work that way because you don't want to pay for an extra table, linen, centerpiece, chairs, chair covers, whatever it is you're doing, right?
Right.
The other thing that happens, if you do assigned seating and you spend all this, what happened to my first wedding? I spent all this time and you come in and you're like, they didn't sit there. They grabbed a chair and drugged 2 chairs over to the table because they wanted to sit with their cousins. And now you have a table with 6 people and a table with 14 because people and I'm like, do you know the time and energy I put into this thing, and you're just sitting wherever you want anyway. Oh,
So there's you have the reason behind
issues. I know I have issues.
this feeling of his. And in reality, it does work okay for certain settings, I think. But again, I really feel like it's helpful to your guests to have an assigned seat. Now, if you're doing plated meals, right, and you have a menu choice, meaning people have selected either chicken or beef or vegetarian, it's especially helpful then because you can then denote what meal they're getting at which seat to the service staff, and then they already know where to place those meals. He has a solution. Yes, here it comes.
Because this can also work if when people walk in, and you probably have all been to weddings where you walk in and you have a place card, right? And you pick it up and it's got your name. And then you walk over and you set it down where you're going to eat. And on that place card, it'll have a little chicken or a little fish or a little carrot if you're a vegetarian. And when you sit down, wherever that may be, you sit down, whoop, and then I'm the DJ and I say, hey, make sure the staff can see your place card because on there is the little, you probably saw the little cow on there.
What if they lose it?
Well, then you're an idiot.
No, I'm just saying this can happen is where they set it down somewhere else. They can't find it. Then they don't remember what they ordered.
The caterers that are professionals in this industry.
Not the caterers.
But the caterers can't break that code and just say, like, what did you want? They said, I want chicken.
I'm saying.
Because there's usually not 7 options. There's usually beef, chicken, or veggie.
Right. So my whole point is just that organizing that ahead of time is easier on your guests, on the staff.
I'm just saying it can be done even without wrestling
the trauma of the RSVP,
the puzzle, the giant game of seating Tetris that you have to play.
Okay.
And it is really hard. And there's a lot put on the couple and the bride usually to do this. And it's just a lot. And if it's something you're just like, the seating chart has become this this constant fight, just say, that's it. Open seating. I'm saving one for me and mom, or mom and dad, and then one for his mom and dad.
Or lean on your planner and have them help you, or someone else in your family help you with the seating chart. Ask for help. We always say that too. You lean on those around you.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen it. It doesn't always it's not always that bad. I'm over exaggerating. So you can do it whichever way you want.
Really?
But I've seen it. People sometimes like, oh my God, it doesn't work. Like, no, I see a lot more open seating than I do assigned seating. Mm-hmm. It's not massive. It's probably like 60-40, but I see more open seating with just a couple tables reserved than I do see assigned seating. Mm. But some people, man, this is another one. This is why it's on this list. I love them or hate them. Some people are like, oh my God, you have to do assigned seating. I go, no, you don't. You don't have to do anything, but
you really don't have to do anything. These are just preferences. And I come from a different perspective than he does, right?
Wrong
he doesn't have to deal with the, angry aunt who doesn't understand why she's not seated near the bride and groom at open seating.
But that's the same thing. You have to put that on somewhere. What if she's not close? Now you assigned her that seat and she's too far back. Like, well, how dare you put me back here? Like, yeah, we assigned you back there because I don't want to talk to you all night.
Maybe. That could be. So this was a lot of fun.
Yes.
We think. We had a little debate. Even with the banter.
You still love me?
I do.
Okay, good.
Always. If you guys are listening and you're enjoying our podcast, leave us a review. Let us know. We would really appreciate it. You can find us in other places. We are on TikTok, obviously, Instagram, YouTube. We have a website, theweddingduo.co, where we do virtual one-on-one planning sessions. You can sit down with us on a Zoom call and we can go over wedding stuff with you one-on-one. We also have a lot available in our shop, downloadable items like our music planner, and also personalized items that we can create for you, like champagne flutes and koozies and shirts. So there's a lot of fun stuff. That's at theweddingduo.co.
The gram has been doing well for us lately.
It has.
We've been up on TikTok, and we always do well on TikTok, but the Instagram.
They like us over there now.
We're doing well.
It's good.
A lot of our TikToks that we put on Instagram.
That's all it's been. Yeah, pretty much. So until next time, y'all, happy wedding planning. We'll say exactly what we say every time.
And no better time than on this episode with the love 'em or hate 'em. It is a very personal day. Don't listen to what I say or what she says.
Nope.
Do what's in your heart, because don't let somebody talk you into something you don't want to do or talk you out of something you have your heart set on. It's a very personal day. Just do you.
You do you. Till next time.
So thanks for listening to our podcast. If you found any of this information helpful and you know someone who may be engaged or is a maid of honor, maybe you could tell them and share it with a friend.
Absolutely. So screenshot this episode, share it on Instagram, on Facebook, and tag the wedding duo. We promise to share the love back. Also, if you are interested in more resources or the show notes, you can go to theweddingduo.co. We have one-on-one virtual sessions, a shop, all sorts of fun stuff. Check it out.